I'm stood in front of a hop bush at a friend's house. Here comes a car. We're also right next to a busy road. These hops all need to be harvested today and brewed with. I've been asked to brew them because my friend is on holiday. They are Challenger and Early Bird hops. We're gonna harvest them and I'm gonna brew with them today, and we're not gonna brew them anywhere near this road. Hops start growing in the spring, and by the end of summer, if everything goes well, they've got tall bines. Different hop varieties have different cone shapes, but when you're growing more than one type, you should try and put some distance between the bines. The Challenger and Early Bird here are so tangled that it's very hard to tell where one plant begins and another one ends. You know when hops are ready to be harvested when they become less green and start showing signs of going dry and brown. It's not a problem if you have some brown leaves on your hops, but you shouldn't harvest any that have gone completely brown and crumbly as they've over-ripened. You also know that the hops are ripe if you crush one and rub it against your hands. You should then get a strong hop aroma from them. It is possible to harvest shorter bines by standing on the ground, but hop bines can grow over 20 foot and need to be cut down to easily harvest. These hops happily grew about 17 foot up this treehouse. This might look dramatic, but the hops will grow back again next year. Normally, they'll grow back with an even larger hop yield than the year before. After you've got the plant, you need to gently harvest the hops like you would berries, taking care not to keep any stem or leaves in. You just want to end up with the hop cones. And don't do what Charlotte and I did and not use gloves. You'll get scratched up. Your fingers will also get covered in lupulin, the pollen which is in the hops, which are used to make beers taste good. You can collect your hops in different buckets depending on which variety you're collecting. We didn't because it was too hard to separate them, but the majority of ours were Challenger. Be ready to bump into the bugs that have been calling your hops home whilst you're harvesting. Charlotte had a big surprise on the harvest day.
You could just get rid of it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You can leave your hops in a cool place or fridge for up to about 48 hours without having to worry about them losing any of their freshness. They can also be frozen, but you'd still want to use them within a week or so to avoid any freezer burn. There are processes which you can use to dry out your own hops, but I don't have the gear for that. After all of that, it's time to weigh your hops and decide what beers you're going to brew with them. Make sure you subscribe to this channel so that you can see the 2 beers that I ended up brewing on the same day using these lovely hops. So as you've seen, we ended up with way more hops than we ever expected we'd get. Last year, those same plants only gave us 200 grams of hops, whereas this year, we got 3.3 kilograms of the things. Today, I'm going to just have a hop tea, something I've never had before, but apparently it's a really good way of getting a taste of what hops actually taste like outside of beer. This is also really useful for if you were to find some hops growing in the wild and you want to use them for brewing, but have no idea like what's the kind of flavor profile of the hops. You can try them in a hop tea, get a sense of their flavor. All you need is a cafetiere, you need hops, you want to pretty much fill up the whole cafetiere with them. So mine's kind of half full because I've designated most of the other hops for brewing. I'll just half fill this with water. So this is boiling water from a kettle. Just leave them for the same kind of time that you'd leave a coffee. You could leave them for longer and obviously you'll get a stronger hop flavor from them. So it's been about 15 minutes since I started steeping the hops, so it's time to give them a try. Ooh. Might not be able to see it from here, but that looks blazing hot. I might wait a minute before I actually drink any of this. I've left it for a few minutes now, so I'm gonna give it a taste. It's very clearly Challenger hops, fortunately, because that's what I was expecting. So it's got those spicy notes that you'd expect of it with a little bit of like lemon peel. Feels like it might be healthy, but I've got no evidence to back that up. So I'm really excited about my next few videos coming out where I'm taking advantage of these hops. Both of the beers that I brewed the other day are currently fermenting, and I'm so excited to finally taste them and show you my experiences of brewing them, because it was such a different brew day to have so many hops. I mean, one of the beers that I made used 2 kilograms of hops just in one beer. It was mad, but I'm so excited to share those videos with you. They'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks. Before then, why don't you check out some of my other videos? Enjoy brewing with fresh hops, especially if you find any wild ones. Let me know if you've brewed before using fresh hops. Like, what's your go-to styles? What has your experiences with brewing fresh hops kind of taught you compared to using pellets? Thank you for watching this video. Have a lovely day. Cheers.